A fair amount of people want to know my view on the whole Hitman Friese situation. So let's effing go.
What chance does a privateer have?
Welcome to Silver Crown.
What do you say to a factory riot?
I believe that everybody needs to have the capacity to change their views when given new information. And this is a perfect example of good versus evil. Yes, I'm going Justin Brayton is the good guy. He is the thoroughbred racehorse that knows his limits. And he's willing to slow down and let a faster rider by to keep out a confrontation. That is how he has exceeded, and that is his racecraft. Then you have the dark side, Vince Friese, who's the quarter horse who fights tooth and nail for every position, even dirty at times because of the lack of raw speed. But he works with what he has. He plays to his strength, just like the thoroughbred, yet raised differently. Two different sets of riders, two different racecrafts. With that being said, I did not deem what I saw in Australia as being overly aggressive. It was not a kill shot. If you look back at the footage, yes, I've talked to multiple people, the teams, etc. The track was incredibly slippery. And if you look at every start, all the riders ended up drifting wide towards there. They just ended up collectively being there with Savachi, Roxon, Brayton, and you got Vince here. Vince slid out, corrected the bike, let off, bike pointed, went wide, just like everyone else was doing, and he tipped over onto Brayton, is what I saw. And after talking with the FIM race director, this was not deemed as something that was punishable, because what they have said is they said that what has happened in other sanctioning bodies series, whether it's Feld, AMA Supercross, or MX Sports, is that it's not going to roll over into World Supercross. And I even asked Davey Coombs this question because I was overly critical on Justin Barcia when he hit Ferrandez in the outdoor motocross because he was still on 6-month probation, but it didn't count because it was difference between Supercross and motocross. And I asked Davey the question that with Super Motocross, with the series combining together, if a rider is on probation in Supercross, is it going to carry over into motocross? And he said, you know what, Johnny, that is a damn good question. I don't know, but I will get back with you. I'm still waiting to hear back from MX Sports to see how that turns out. With that being said, fans don't forget, even though the rules and the sanctioning bodies may forget. So you've got this built-up animosity towards certain individuals, whether it is somebody like a Barcia or a Friese, because if you replace Switcheroo, where Brayton was the guy that took out Friese, it would be a completely different narrative. I do understand that, but this is where I go back to the race directors of MX Sports, Feld Entertainment, and World Supercross with FIM, that it is up to them to prevent the riders from continuously making these same mistakes by a harsher punishment. That's the only way you're going to get through with these guys, because it is better to ask for forgiveness than permission. That's how racing has been. That's how it always will be, unless somebody puts their foot down. These guys are horses. Don't get mad at them trying to better themselves and race as hard as they can. They don't know any better, right? When the gate drops, the bullshit stops. That's Grant Langston. You just F and go. And that's what they're designed to do, and that's what they're paid to do. That's where you have to have some disciplinary action to keep everyone in check. Whether you like it or not, I believe people have been doing it not to the level that it needs to be. Now, here's where everything gets convoluted and incredibly tricky, where you have a rider, Friese, that is essentially alleged to be paying another rider, a 15th place guy, to take somebody out. It sounds ignorant, because why would you even say something if you were serious, and why would you also hire a rider that is going to be nowhere near Brayton to begin with? It sounds incredibly ignorant. So therefore, I have to kind of just call ignorance on the whole thing. However, if there is any merit to it actually being true, which I hope it's not, it is detrimental to the rider's reputation and the sport, because that is something that should never, ever, ever happen or be tolerated for happening, right? And the FIM director and everybody has stated that this is just not punishable. This is just simple banter. But again, that is incredibly convoluted, because was there serious intentions behind this? We won't know. I have also heard that Brayton tried to get Vince disqualified at the first round for some unknown reason. So it sounds like there's some animosity towards the teammates. You know, it's not all butterflies and rainbows under Moto Concepts. And for that reason, it makes me question what is actually going on. And the only way to really know is to get both sides of the story. I have reached out and to try to get an interview with Vince, and he has not commented yes or no on the answer here. But I've given you guys all ammunition for both sides. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It is not for the faint-hearted, as I will read all of them and I'll try to respond to as many as I can. This is another drama-filled scenario for a would-be world championship that is 2 races. Let's just call it for what it is. It's only 2 races. There's going to be an asterisk behind it, but there was a substantial amount of money behind some of these moves. For the sake of not digressing anymore, brah-da-da-da!